Sally here, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. So in today's video, we're doing another speed build. It's been a little bit since I've done one for sure, but this is obviously inspired by the new expansion pack that just came out not too long ago, around 2 weeks ago, the new Life and Death expansion pack. So this really motivated me because of course I love like the lightness and the darkness aspects to any like gameplay that I do in The Sims 4. You know, I like to play around with colors, and then I also like to play around with like darkness, and I love the, you know, using our biggest expansion packs or game packs like werewolves and, you know, vampires, all of that have like the very different type of rustic but also dark, yada yada, just a whole different side to gameplay, of course. So that really motivated me, honestly, to possibly create like a small series relating to the pack, definitely playing with it a bit, but also incorporating other packs into it as well, like occults and everything like that. So with like werewolves, again, vampires, witches with the magic realm, so, or as they call it, spellcaster, so whichever works. But here we are. So I'm building a, I guess you call it a manor. Now, obviously, the Life and Death expansion pack is supposed to be like Romanian's architecture. So a lot of the buildings, homes, it's supposed to be based in, I guess, Romania. So I was definitely doing my research on like the architecture and like looking and how it would be and everything like that. And it's absolutely beautiful, and it definitely does have like a dark vintage, a lot of stone, like European, like just like a little mixture of like everything into it. So it's really cool. But I didn't want to do like every other. I didn't want this house to look exactly like, you know, the town. I did want to kind of create something similar, but in my own way. So it was a little bit of a back and forth with this build. You'll see me going back and forth, like editing with like messing around with the house and building it, the roofing. I was basically, I've never done, I feel like, a build like this. Like maybe I've done a Victorian-esque style house when I did like that Hocus Pocus build I did. But this is definitely different. This is definitely different that I've done. So it was a lot harder for me, because, you know, I definitely want to be better at building and just venture out, not be so, not do the same houses all the time. So this is basically, I guess you call it a manor. It's the Sawyer Manor. Now, based on that is a little series I do plan to play out for you guys. And it's basically based on a family. So the mother, so it's Bernadette Sawyer. So obviously she was, I guess you call her like the founder, but obviously there was this house, back to the house, has like long history of houses. And Bernadette is a spellcaster. So obviously family cults of witches. This house just has been just completely upgraded as time goes on, and you know, you'll possibly see that like in the house as well, like some is like modern and some isn't, which is really interesting. And especially like the basement, you'll see too, I do create a basement as well. And it basically kind of like it definitely needs some upgrading. There's a lot of like run down parts to it, but as time goes on, definitely. But it just, that's what gives it like so much character. So Bernadette Sawyer, you know, she's the eldest sim of the family as of right now, and she's the mother of our main girl, our main character, Olivia Sawyer-Blackthorn. So Bernadette, her aspiration, she's a successful lineage, so she basically wants to have a successful family of just ambitious sims. She's an ambitious woman. She's, you know, raised her daughter basically on her own. There is no father in Olivia's life either. And she's had powerful, strong women as Bernadette grew up, and she was around a lot of strong spellcasters, and she's seen everything, like anything that you can know from scratch. She knows how to do it. She knows how to build things, she knows how to garden, she knows how to cook everything, she knows how to bake everything. She knows how to do every single spell in the book. She just has so much knowledge, and so much parenting skill too. That just having one child, like, she really just brings a lot of wise words to a lot of people, and a lot of people, I feel like, in the community really look up to her, because again, she's so wise and she's so knowledgeable, and she's involved in everything. People walk by her, they know her, they bring her things, they bring her food, they bring anything, you know what I mean? And she gives back to the community as well with her knowledge and her all her skills, so she definitely, like, is the type of sim that she goes to every type of festival or anything. She's involved in the community of the New World of Ravenwood. So now she had her daughter. She did have her daughter fairly young. Now Olivia also. So Olivia, she's currently right now, when we'll be playing her, which then I will be doing a separate video, obviously, of part 1. But Olivia is, again, like, she learned so much from her mom, so she's like literally a spitting image of her. Now she did also become a teen mom too, so like right before she was about to graduate high school, she ended up falling in love with Malcolm. So they were both teenagers, absolutely love high school sweethearts, and actually she did end up getting pregnant like right before graduating. And she had a baby boy, and that baby boy is named Onyx. So Onyx currently now is a child. Olivia is a young adult. Malcolm is a young adult. Now the whole backstory with that is, obviously Bernadette, who's Olivia's mom, was very supportive throughout the process. She's been through it. Now, Olivia, she had obviously a rough upbringing due to only having one parent. As you know, that can be it can be traumatic on someone, kind of like, was I not good enough type of deal. That's kind of how she felt. So when she found Malcolm and fell in love with him, it was crazy, because it's like she just felt like she never fit in at school, like, at all. And she was very, like, everyone looked at her weird. She always, like, dressed in black. She always had, like, this, she was a gloomy sim. I feel like she was a very gloomy child to teenager. And, her mom, Bernadette, like, really, got that out of her. She kind of just let it pass by and helped her any way that she can, and felt as though it would have been a phase for Olivia. So, she helped her grow out of it, all of that. But honestly, when she was in high school, back to her not really getting along with anyone, not having any friends, she ended up meeting Malcolm. Now, Malcolm has a brother named Deven. So Malcolm and Deven's a bit older than Malcolm, but Malcolm and Deven were kind of very handsome boys, kind of the cool kids. They were kind of bad, very mischievous. They had their bad ways. Now, they have their backstory as well, but they met Olivia, and Olivia and Malcolm, like I said, completely fell in love, and it made Olivia, like, it brought her spirit out of her. Like, she saw the light again. She's like, oh wow, I can, be loved by, a male figure. And obviously it's a completely different scenario, but is what I'm saying is, like, she found what she was missing. She felt like she was missing something in her heart, and she feels like she found it. And that was Malcolm for her. And he gave her the support. He gave her the loyalty. He gave her, and he still gives her that till this day. But you know, she just, everything she wanted, you know, she found the ambition in herself, especially, just everything all in one. They both found each other, and they both found themselves within each other, if that makes sense. So basically now Malcolm and Deven, which is his brother, were basically orphans. So their parents like completely like suddenly passed away. So they didn't really have anyone, and it was very suspicious in a way if you look at it. Like, where did your family go? You don't have aunts, you don't have uncles. Like, that's so strange. Like, what is that? You know what I mean? It's just like, but they were technically the cool kids. They didn't really talk about their background too much, and no one knew that their parents, like, you know, were gone besides Olivia. And then it kind of like notched down from there, because now Bernadette became very involved with Malcolm and Deven's life. So she was really concerned. Now, obviously, with her being very supportive of Olivia, she became very supportive and loved Malcolm and Deven as like they were her own sons, especially with them not having any parents, like any adult supervision. Like, you don't even know where they lived. They hopped around houses. They were kind of technically homeless. Like, honestly, they were technically homeless. Like, they were trying to work their way around, but they still went to school. Deven, on the other hand, is a little bit more mischievous, and he kept missing school a lot, and definitely got into a lot of fights and all of that stuff. But we'll get into that more as time goes on. But yeah, so, you know, Bernadette took the boys in. She took Deven, she took Malcolm, and now they all live under one roof with Olivia and the baby at this point. So it was a lot, but Bernadette never complained. She loved it, if anything. She had a huge family. Now, they come from money. They're not struggling at all. They, like I said, this long history of money and heirlooms and all of that, so they didn't have to worry about struggling or anything, which is a blessing. So that was the biggest thing too. But that's what Bernadette also did, was like, she gained two sons, and the whole community like knew about the situation too. They don't know entirely about their family, or their history about the boys, but they know they're mysterious. Those boys are definitely mysterious, and where they come from. You know, so as time goes on, obviously, you know, aging up, and life goes on, right? And Deven, which is Malcolm's brother, the more mischievous one, you know, can be mean, can be more of a bad boy if you really think about it. Never could settle in, didn't 100% feel comfortable staying at Bernadette's house, because he just couldn't accept people caring. He can't accept people loving and showing care. Like, he can't accept it. And I feel like it's gotten worse, like, as time goes on. And I feel like the only person that maybe has a little spark in his heart is Olivia, which is insane, because that's his brother's girlfriend at the time, like, lover, like. But Olivia just does something to him. He looks at her, it does something to him to really possibly see warmth and accept care, like, accept the caring, accept the affection, accept love, and accept people around him. And he fights it for sure, because obviously he doesn't know what that is and why that is, but it's his brother's girlfriend. So as time goes on, like I said, you know, they're raising Onyx together. Malcolm and Olivia are raising Onyx together. Life is amazing. It really is. But Deven starts to like slowly become distant, and he starts to venture off again and disappears, and he was in Onyx's life for a good amount of time, and he was there for him for sure. He loves Onyx, but he had to disappear. Like just knowing that he had this little feeling with Olivia, and knew that like nothing can be done, and he just needed to leave. He needed to leave. He was so jealous. He's so jealous of her and Malcolm. It's upsetting, because Bernadette did show him a lot of love, and tried to, and she put that force in. She obviously, I'm not saying she's easygoing mother or an easygoing guardian. She's not. Obviously, she didn't let a lot of things slide. It was very difficult for her. It was not easy peasy for her to raise 3 teenagers. Are you kidding me? And she also helped raise Onyx too. So me sounding like it was really easy for her, it wasn't at all. But basically, going into the first episode, it's kind of starting off into their into their life. Like, it's not as already midway, basically. And I'm really excited to kind of play into it, because I'm really excited to see what's to discover, especially now that Deven is slowly creeping back into their life. He's like not in disappearance anymore. So I'm just really curious on how their life will unfold. Olivia is a ghost historian. She is a romantic sim. She's very ambitious, and she's very generous. She likes writing, she likes cooking, she likes gemology, she likes gardening, anything like that. Again, she is a spellcaster. So she is like level 2 or 3 in the rank of being a spellcaster. So she knows a good amount. She knows a lot. And with her being a ghost historian, and being a very generous sim, now the generous comes from her mom, I feel like, but I still feel like Olivia has this mischievous way of her, like this mysterious part of her, and it probably comes from her father that she's never met. Like, she doesn't know, but there's something in her that just lures towards darkness and death and ghosts, and it's a little dark. It really is. And I don't know, someone initially can bring that out of her, but Malcolm, out of all people, brings the good out of her, brings the light out of her. Now Malcolm, he's a chef. He's really amazing cook. He's really good at handiness. He's a big fitness buff. He's a health fanatic. He loves to take care of himself as well. And he likes gardening, all of that. He's very family oriented, but the only thing with him though, he has the trait chased by death. So just something's always happening that can really be risky for him. And he doesn't know what it is. He doesn't know why. He thinks it's bad luck. He doesn't know if maybe he's cursed or something. But he doesn't share it too much. Like, obviously, Olivia knows the deepest parts of him, but he doesn't share it too much. Like, he's just like, oh, it's all good. Nah, I'm good. We're good. I'm all good, But I definitely think he struggles inside for sure with that. Like, it's scary. It's scary to have that feeling inside and that anxiety. A little bit of paranoia. But he won't show it. His face is, I'm fine. But inside, he's freaking out a little bit. Like, just a little bit. Now, him and Deven were best friends, best brothers, best buds. They did everything together, side by side. Now, they had a lot of ups and downs with each other, because they both can, they're kind of opposite, but very similar in a way. And it's just, they didn't always mesh well. And he was always iffy about Deven and Deven's antics on how he dealt with things and how he would go about things. And Deven was like, oh, come on, man. Like, come on, Malcolm. Like, let's go. But ever since Malcolm met Olivia and had Onyx, he's been a little bit more like, no, man. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not risking my life to do that. I'm not good, like I have a family now, I have a responsibility. So Malcolm and Olivia definitely matured a lot, for sure. Deven, on the other hand, you know, still has some growing up to do. But Malcolm is an amazing writer as well. He constantly has his journal right by his bedside, in his pocket. He's always writing. Whatever it is about his life, he's journaling about everyday life, about raising family, his family that he has. You know, they hope to have more kids, and they definitely want to once they get their own home and everything. He writes about his brother on wishing they had a better relationship, and just, he literally writes about everything. And he's written books, and he wants to really become like a best-selling author for sure. And along with that, cookbooks, all of that. It's just like, it's wild on how much you know, they both connect, because Olivia, she loves writing as well, but she's more of like historical type of way. She doesn't really write about her everyday life. She wants to write about, you know, past adventures, you know, things that she sees as far as ghost wise, or anything historic, or anything, maybe her past. She reads up books on her, like her past ancestors, things like that. She likes to study up on, you know, because she likes to know death, the afterlife, and if you can ever be reborn. Like that's what she studies up on, basically. Now their son Onyx, as currently right now he is a child, he was always a genius child, so smart. Like they barely had to really teach him anything. He just learned on his own. And you know, obviously Olivia and Malcolm are very smart, but they're just so blessed to have such a smart child. Now, they're yeah, he may be the perfect child. He's really a sweet kid. He is, but he's very skeptical about certain things. Now, the house they live in, he obviously saw a lot of stuff and heard a lot of stuff, because their house is, this house that I'm building for them is considered haunted, and there's a lot to it, you know. And I feel like he has like this sense of, if you know, if he could be a medium, like that's it, you know what I mean? Because he can really sense a lot of spirits, and he senses bad and he senses good. So I definitely think he has a different type of, he's a different type of kid, for sure, and he definitely stands out, for sure. But creating this home for them was really fun, really interesting, especially with the new pack, because I was trying to figure out, you know, with each room, like what their type of style was, especially for Onyx, because the new wallpaper that came with the new expansion pack is so cool. And so it's just like, it fits perfectly. And I was trying to figure out, like, did I want to make it like an all dark black type of house? But it would have no character or no personality, honestly. But trying to figure out the layout too was a little hard. But honestly, it's definitely a different layout that I've ever done before. Now, there is like an extra bedroom, and you'll see that as well. But it basically was Deven's old room. Now it is a smaller room out of the bunch, but now there's just like a bunch of like workout equipment. It is Deven's old workout equipment as well, but there's still boxes. There's like a bunch of boxes in there, and yeah, he literally just moves around wherever he wants. I don't know how he does it, but he does it, and he gets his way around, you know. He's so used to doing that, but he can't stay in one spot, Deven. He's so non-committable at, like, he's never had like a relationship. Like, he's messed around with a lot of people and a lot of women, and he's messed with people's hearts, and he's definitely a heartbreaker. Very handsome sim, but definitely a heartbreaker. And yeah, so he hopefully will start to come back in the picture and stay for good, but hopefully for good terms and not anything bad, because he can be a very spiteful sim for sure. But for him, so his aspiration is Chief of Mischief. Now, it basically is he just wants to annoy everyone, and he kind of just wants to do his own thing. He wants to make his own money. He kind of does his own thing, his own way. Always his way or the highway. That's it. There's nothing around it. He's very self-assured, so he's very confident. There's no one that can put him down unless it's Olivia. Because again, Olivia really makes him puts a whole nother toll on him, especially if she's upset with him or disappointed with him. But they have a really close bond as well. He is a macrobee, so he loves the thrill of, I guess, reaping and death and darkness, anything along those lines. And he does love writing, so that's a big thing with him too, is he is a big bookworm. He actually loves to read books. You wouldn't think, but he loves reading books. And he loves reading fantasy and romance, and not many people know that, honestly. He's a big fitness buff as well, so he takes care. He likes to work out, all that good stuff. And yeah, he likes to go to the local bar here and there pretty much every night. And he likes also to be surrounded by people, but also he likes his own company for sure. So definitely you'll see their characters and personalities come out more in the series, the gameplay series, when we do. And oh, and my favorite room is here shown. This is Bernadette's room. I absolutely love her room so much. Now, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but she is an absolute amazing painter. Wait, let me not say amazing. To her, she's amazing. But she's working on it, you know what I mean? But she's really good. She is. And she loves sketching. Painting is a little different for her. She's a really good digital artist too. But as far as painting goes, with paints on the canvas, she needs some more work, you know what I mean? But she loves drawing, she loves sketching, she loves creating, and that's the biggest thing with this family too. They are a very creative family for sure. For example, Olivia loves gemology. She likes to create bracelets, necklace, any type of jewelry. She's always hunting for crystals and always finding brand new crystals. That's her hobby. She absolutely loves it. And when it comes to a job, figuring it out for sure, but they all have their own jobs. Bernadette is a freelancer. She makes her money by, again, they have money from over the years, ancestors, it's just heirlooms, all of that. But they make their own money now by doing the hobbies that they love and based on the skills that they love as well. But yeah, so I decided, back to the house, I decided to make this house a haunted house. Not only did I never play with the haunted house residentials, but I definitely wanted to try something different regarding that. And it's pretty spooky, I have to say. But that's what this house gives off. That's the vibe that it gives off of. It really does. And now I know this room is really random and it's very bland and very plain, but I wanted to make this house as realistic as possible because there's a lot of work every day that they do, especially with Bernadette, and there's not everything that she can get to, and they just haven't figured out what they want to do with that room yet. Hopefully she's hoping Deven will come back, or Deven just grows up and finds a woman, gets married, all of that, but he has not yet. So here on the balcony, I'm creating her little artistry setup, along with a little seating area I made for her as well. Now, I did want to note, so when creating this house, now obviously in the series, they've lived in this house for a very, very long time. Like, this house it's just very long time. But building a house, I really wanted a bigger lot. Like, I really did. But the next up was like 50 by 50, and it was like too big. And I think it's Crow's Cross, it didn't have such a big lot, and I didn't want to take away the huge manor or the cemetery that they had. So I wasn't entirely happy with like how much yard I had left. But it's okay. I made it work, with the house was supposed to be this big, and I feel like it's not too big where, I like to have everything close to each other, if that makes sense. Like, very not too spacious, basically, where like you have to literally walk so far to get somewhere. And let me just so I thought this was funny, this little bookshelf door, because when you see it from looking down the stairs, it's like, okay, so these stairs go to a bookshelf? Like, that's suspicious. I just thought it was funny. I kept it. I'll probably, I don't know, change it, but I probably won't, because it's hilarious. Who wants to go steps down to a bookshelf? That's what's interesting about it, okay? So, this was fun creating, honestly. But anyways, so back to the house. Yeah, so there wasn't much to do around the yard. So I put in little like things that I know they've had for a while. And listen, I feel like this family is always out and about in the town, and this lot where it was located definitely has that, for sure. Now, I ended up putting a lot of candles. I do remove some because I just felt like it looked a little weird. Now, this is also like a part of the house too that again hasn't been updated by Bernadette. Like the kitchen, for example, I wanted to give that like personality that it's never like it hasn't looked like that like before all this. Like it was upgrade. She upgraded it, made it very modern, but that thing was like wrecked up as time went on. So I feel like the basement is like a good personality, good definition, I don't know the word, to really tell you that this house like has been through the ringer and has been around for years. So definitely wanted to give it that, and she just hasn't had the chance to upgrade that part as well. But it's also a basement, and Olivia does her seance meetings down here. So there's always a lot of stuff going on. So there's a lot of cracks, there's a lot of things falling, there's always spooky things going on down here. So why are they gonna upgrade that? You know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, back to the house. I mean, it was really fun creating for sure. Definitely as time goes on, we'll, in the new series, we'll add more stuff as, the family grows and all of that. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We're going to get into some screenshots so you kind of can see the final finale. Now, the front of the house, you'll see I did end up changing like that balcony on the second floor. I ended up changing a lot of it because I'm like, something looks off to me. And it just looks better like that. So I like it like that. And we're going to leave it like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the speed build. I did cut out a lot because a lot of stuff took me a lot more time, and I just felt like it was boring for you to see me go through all of that. But I definitely will see you guys in the next episode where we start the new series for sure. I hope you guys are excited for the new series, because I definitely am. I'm definitely interested in definitely playing this new pack. But I'm going to skedaddle, enjoy the screenshots. I'm going to see you guys in the next video.